Okay, this video is going to be Trader Joe's Part 2. It's connected to the Whole Foods story that you watched in my other video. Okay, so I leave Whole Foods. I go to Trader Joe's. As I'm pulling up in the parking lot, as I'm getting out of the car, I hear like whining, but it sounds like a kid whining, but like really, I didn't really pay attention to that. It was like off and on, and it was faded. It was kind of faded. So I start to walk into Trader Joe's, and I see security running towards me. And so I'm looking around because now the crying sound that I hear and like rustling around like a fighting and a crying sound is sounding closer to me. So I'll look all the way over my left shoulder. And oh, by the way, there were two security, one that was like riding around in a cart around the parking lot, and one that stands at the front of Trader Joe's. And this is new, by the way. They never had security there. Like I've been to this Trader Joe's quite a few times. I've never seen security, but now they have security, and I'm pretty sure it's due to the state of the world today. So anyways, the security is running up, and there's a situation. There, I look over, like way over my left shoulder, and this man, it's a couple. He is beating up his wife. And yes, she was his wife. He had her he's grabbing her by the back of her neck, and like he has her by her wrist. He has one arm, her left arm holding her by her wrist, and like twisting her around. They're like going in a circle, and he's taking his knee and kneeing her on her backside, and they're like going in a circle while he's doing this, while he's grabbing the back of her neck, like taking his knee and like kneeing her on her backside, and like twisting her wrist from her left hand. So I'm looking at this scene, and the security is already up to them by now, and he's like pulling the guy by his jacket, like by his shirt, and like pulling him off of the lady, and they're arguing, fighting words, and the lady's crying. Like I clearly see this. I see her watch pop off onto the ground, and and then her dress is flipped all the way up, guys. So she's laying on the ground because the security's tackling her husband, and so she's laying on the ground. Her dress is all the way up. So I'm kind of close to them, so I go over to her, and she's crying, and she has scrapes on her shoulders, and her knees are all scraped up, and she's trying to pull her dress down, and she's reaching for the keys. So the keys were on the ground. So she's scrambling, and she's getting the keys, and she's like moving her hair out of her face, and she's like crying. So I'm like, you drove here? So I'm like, do you want to go sit in your car? So I help her walk her to her car. Her car was like 2 cars away. Her car was very close. It was like 2 cars away. So she opens her door. She gets in her car. She's crying. And the police got there pretty fast. So maybe the security called the police, because there were like 2 of them. Maybe they called the police. So so she gets in her car, and she's like, where's my daughter? So I'm like, your daughter? She's like, yeah. So I'm looking around, and right the next car over, it was a Ford F-150 truck. So it's taller than her. The girl's a toddler. She's maybe 4 or 5, around that age. And oh my gosh, the little girl is standing between the truck and another car, and she's hiding. She has tears coming down her face. She's hiding. And I don't think I'll ever forget this scene. She had on like light blue shorts and a pink shirt with like a blue butterfly on her shirt. She wet herself. She was standing there in her own urine. She wet herself, I'm sure, out of fear and trauma, and just, watching her dad beat up her mom. And so she hid in between the cars. And so I'm like, your mom's right here, just like 1 car over. And so I'm pointing to her car, like, look, your mom's right here, like, she's okay, your mom's safe, she's in the car. And so she walks out a little bit, but she's walking with her knees together, because she wet herself. She's walking with her knees together. So I told her mom, the mom's face, she has she's covering her face. She's crying. And I said, call your daughter, you know, because the girl's like inching. She's walking with her knees together, but she's like inching, even though she wasn't that far away. But, you know, she's traumatized. So the little girl, she gets to the car, and I open the back door, and she climbs in. I went in the store after that. You know, the police arrived pretty quickly. So I went in the store after that, and oh my gosh, what happened? So yeah, that was really awful. I go in there and I get the dandelion root, and I'm almost forgetting, just because I will not forget the look on that little girl's face. Sorry, I'm checking my messages. So yeah, you guys, I do understand pressure and being in a really tough place. And you know, I did hear him saying, you know, he's yelling at her, you spent my money and I didn't tell you to spend that much. So he's fighting her out there. He's beating her up. She was not fighting back. And she's so he's like, you spent my money. He's like, you work, you need to spend your own money. And as you know, as I was walking in the store, I realized the macaroni bracelet that was on the little girl's arm was the macaroni bracelet that's popped on the ground. It was popped on the ground. That was probably matching to her mom's macaroni bracelet, because the mom's watch popped off her arm as well, off her wrist, because the guy had her by her wrist and by the back of her neck while he's like kneeing her, and they're like going in around and around in a circle, and he's yelling. And being in tough situations like that, whether you're a man who's being abused or a woman who's being abused, fast. Go on if of course you would consult your doctor. You wouldn't be finding a random me on YouTube to telling you to fast. Of course you would find out if it's a healthy or a good idea for you to fast. See if that's something you can, if you even have a doctor. Everybody does not have a doctor, but you make your own choice, or you will consult with your doctor or something like that. But I just wanted to tell you some of the benefits of fasting. There's a million benefits to fasting. I wish I had known this when I was in a tough place. Not like that never happened to me, but fast. Maybe go on a 3-day fast. I guarantee you, whatever you're confused about, or if you don't have any ideas at all, because when I was in a really horrible place, I actually didn't have any ideas at all. Watch the amazingness of God drop right down into your spirit what to do. You have, of course, you got to be a little bit brave, because sometimes when God tells you to do something, it requires you to have faith, and it requires you to physically make some moves that may make you uncomfortable, but of course it's beneficial in the end. But guys, if you're in a tough place, maybe you are not in a place where it's so extreme like that, fast. I should make a video on the benefits of fasting, but I feel like that video will be so long because there's so many benefits to fasting. Maybe I'll do a short video on the amazing breakthroughs that you can receive, just the clarity. Because what fasting is when you fast, you are feeding your spiritual side. Of course, we eat to feed our flesh, and sometimes we eat too much. If you fast and you go on what they call a dry fast, where you're not eating or drinking anything all day, and you are praying, you're talking to God all day while you're driving, at nighttime, just whenever you can, you are talking to Him about how you feel in the situation that you're in, and telling Him you don't know what to do and that you need His help. And watch Him drop down amazing answers right away to what you should do next and how you should go about it. That does require that you're not going to be able to be around a lot of people, because you could miss. You really could, because sometimes it's like a nanosecond when He tells you to do something. For example, if He says pack up the house, and you're like, why did I think that? It goes away in just a second. If he's telling you to pack up the house, even though it might not make sense, you're like, I don't have the money to do that. Where am I going? Why am I packing up the house? It sounds weird. Do it. Do it. He's going to show you your next step. But yeah, I'm just going to, I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to upload a couple more videos today. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I understand people are in a tough place today. And for people who are maybe confused, or continue to talk to God, because you need to be in a relationship with Him. Get out of your head with a label, a religion, a this, a that. Somebody said this. No, 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 no. Talk to God daily. Like I said, you could just be driving. Keep Him in your life daily. Not just, oh, I thanked Him yesterday and I write gratitude notes. No, more than that. More than that. Daily. Because we mess up daily, you know? Talk to Him daily. Don't involve everybody in all your situations. It's not necessary. Watch how He drops down into the spirit the answers to what you're looking for. And if you don't have any answers, watch how He just shows you once you tell Him your concerns and your worries and things like that. So with that being said, I'm going to upload a couple more videos, and I will talk to you guys later.